Good morning, everybody. I'm going to read the scripture today. It's Jeremiah 31, verses 8 and 9 and 13. I am going to bring them back from the north. I will gather them from the ends of the earth. Among them will be the blind and the disabled, the expectant mothers and those in labor. A great throng will return here. With tears of joy they will come. While they pray, I will bring them back. I will lead them by quiet streams and on smooth paths so they do not stumble. I will be Israel's father. Ephraim will be my oldest child. Then the young women will dance for joy. The young and old men will join in, and I will turn their mourning into laughter and their sadness into joy. I will comfort them. This is the word of the Lord.
Ari Wassman is a woman with low vision who loves hiking. However, Ari often encounters sighted people who are surprised to find her on outdoor adventures. She tells this story on the Instagram page, Disabled Hikers. On one particularly challenging trek, another hiker became frustrated that I was slowing the group down. When someone informed her she doesn't see well, the other hiker's frustration turned to disbelief and then blatant anger. She demanded, "If you can't see, why are you even on this hike? I mean, what's the point?" And Ari notes, therein lies the root of the problem. Able-bodied people falsely believe that the world is not worth experiencing if you can't experience it as they can. The hiker Ari encountered wanted to push ahead without her, wanted Ari to not be there because of her disability. That hiker envisioned a world without disabled people. By contrast, in our scripture today, the prophet Jeremiah envisions a new world inhabited by people with and without disabilities living together. My friend Les and I are both part of a community called L'Arche Tahoma Hope. Our community is part of the International L'Arche Federation, communities around the world of people with and without intellectual disabilities sharing life together. I have been the spiritual life director at L'Arche Tahoma Hope for about 3 years. Les has lived in the community and worked on our farm for 39 years now, is that right? Les, when you work on the farm, what kinds of things do you do? What are your jobs on the farm? Oh, we got flowers, you grow the flowers. What else do you do? You water, you make sure all the plants have enough water. What else do you do? Oh, you pinch off the dead flowers so the new ones can grow better. Which one of those jobs is your favorite? Oh, you love the flowers. Yeah, those are pretty good. It's easy to enjoy your job when you have beautiful things to do, huh? L'Arche Farm and Gardens sustains itself by selling plants and flowers at our greenhouse and at Tacoma area farmers markets. If you go to the Proctor Farmers Market, you might have seen us. We also sell produce through a community-supported agriculture program. You can buy a share and get fruits and veggies every week. Unlike most farms, our farm does not turn a profit at all. In fact, the farm's work is subsidized by the rest of the community. That's not a great business model, but it is the right model for us, because the point of the farm isn't to grow the most dahlias we can, even though they're particularly beautiful this year. Or it's not to maximize our CSA sales. The point of our farm is to be a place where people with and without disabilities can share work together, learning and growing alongside each other, supporting each other, right, in the ups and downs of life. See, like Ari's impatient fellow hiker, many of us have been trained to set rigid expectations for what success looks like. We want to get to the summit quickly so we can see the view. We want to meet sales metrics so we can prove that our company has something worth buying. We believe consciously or unconsciously that we can prove our worth by doing great things, that somehow we can muscle our way from sadness to joy. This is an enormous responsibility. Often our expectations of success are impossible to meet, and it's so easy to become caught in an endless cycle of trying to prove our worth, not doing everything perfectly, feeling anxious about not measuring up, setting other expectations that are even more impossible to meet, falling short of those expectations and getting more anxious, and so on. But Jeremiah's vision points us to something far better. A little context. The prophet Jeremiah, in this passage, is speaking to a people in exile. Around 585 BCE, the area around Jerusalem was defeated by the Babylonian Empire. This area, inhabited by the tribe of Judah, was the last of the Israelite kingdoms. The rest had been conquered about 150 years earlier. Jerusalem was almost completely destroyed, including the temple built by King Solomon. Many people were taken away to live in Babylon. At that time, the Jewish people considered the temple in Jerusalem to be God's dwelling place. So being displaced from Jerusalem was not only being forced out of their homes, but being taken away from God. No longer could they look up at the temple towering over the city. No longer could they feel like God was alongside them. Maybe you have experienced something similar in your own life. Les, you have a story about having to be away from home, don't you? A few years ago, you had to be away from home for a while. What happened? Do you remember why you were in the hospital? Yeah, what happened? You fell. You fell and you broke your leg and you had to go to the hospital, huh? Yeah. You were in the hospital for a few weeks, right? Did you miss your home while you were away from it? What was that like to miss your home? Were you sad? What did you miss about home? Oh yeah, you broke your leg and you had to have it fixed. You had to have some screws put in and stuff. Mm-hmm. Did you miss your friends? Were you anxious about when you were going to get to come home? Yeah. Were you able to go back to work right away? Didn't you have to take some time off? You had to be at home and heal for a while, huh? Yeah. For like 5 months, you had to stay away from work. That was a long time. Was that hard to wait? Yeah. The Israelites, too, were waiting and missing home. Their hearts were troubled in a foreign land, And then Jeremiah speaks this prophecy that we heard today, the promises of God to God's people. They will be restored to a place that feels like home, a place where God's goodness is present. Now, notice the people that God specifically names who will be included in this new home: the blind, the disabled, pregnant people, and those in labor. Not warriors or leaders, not priests or merchants. It's the most vulnerable, not the most powerful, who lead the way. This passage, by the way, is one of the few times in the Bible where disability is mentioned and we don't talk about healing. In fact, in this passage, God promises a transformation of society rather than a transformation of the individual's disability. God doesn't say, "I will make your legs stronger so that you can walk across difficult terrain." God says, "I will make the paths smoother and easier to travel." Or to put it another way, the promised land has wheelchair ramps. There's something else interesting about how Jeremiah describes the people who return. Pregnant people and those in labor, in the midst of their vulnerability, are bringing new life to the world. In the same way Jeremiah implies, a community that fully includes those who are physically or socially vulnerable can bring to life something entirely new. At L'Arche, we believe in the transformative power of mutual relationships between people with and without disabilities. We learn from each other and we work together to create a better community. And Les has taught me a lot. Les, when a holiday or a special event is coming up, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
You decorate. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when it was your birthday last year? What happened? You had a Kiss party. You really like the band Kiss. Uh-huh. We decorated our gathering hall. You got dressed up. We had a big party. There's some pictures in the lobby from Les's life, including a picture of you dressed up like Kiss. Do you know, Les, I don't usually decorate my house for holidays. Honestly, I would probably forget to decorate our gathering hall for the events, except you remind me. It might seem like a small thing, whether decorations are on the wall or not, but it's an indicator of my overall attitude, if we're being honest. I get too caught up in worrying about life, stressing about the details of an event. Is it going to start on time? No. Will we have enough food? Probably. Is everything going to be ready? Maybe. I'm really bad at slowing down and having fun. But Les, you remind me that fun is kind of important too, huh? Les creates spaces where it's easy to dance for joy. He is an essential part of our community, making sure the decorations go up and the fun happens. And that, to me, is the beauty of Jeremiah's message. Everyone is an essential part of the community of God. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect body or the perfect mind. You don't have to prove your worth by how much you can accomplish, and neither does anyone else. You only have to come just as you are to love and be loved and watch your mourning turn into laughter. So, dear ones, if you hear nothing else today, hear this. Do not let your heart be troubled. God, who loves you as you are, is making a smooth path for you to return home. So may it be.